Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to today's live presentation, Turning Point. We are beginning to feel the moon coming into the T-square between Saturn and Uranus. And this is a massive turning point energetically as we have a bloom of the energies of 2021 and are beginning to move into 2022. There is so much happening right here at this moment. I just wanted to come here together and be witness right here in our presence to these powerful moments. We have been feeling the influence of this Saturn square Uranus all year long. And starting back in January of 2021, we began feeling the Saturn square Uranus. And now it's coming to its completion. So the exact square of Saturn and Uranus goes through the 29th today, but the influence will continue through the 19th of January. But this is like the big hump, getting around this big turn right here. And all of the planets are involved in this story. So let's talk it through. So the main energy that's going on is the moon is in Scorpio. And so it's making a T-square to Saturn and Uranus, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus. And this square, because it involves Saturn, the keeper of time, in Aquarius, the age we're moving into, and it involves Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. This is all about why aren't we seeing the changes in our world, in our physical reality, to represent the energetic changes we all feel. And it's like we're living in the twilight zone this whole year, and really it's been a couple of years of reality just not matching up. And so the astrology right now, by tapping into it, can really give us a good clue of what's going on. And so the moon in Scorpio. Now, this is really powerful because we have the nodes of the moon shifting signs, and they went into Gemini and Sagittarius last May of 2020. So it's been quite a while, and that's when things were just starting to get really weird. Like we were realizing that this world situation wasn't going away. And so that the nodes being in mutable signs has been just like this incredibly uncertain energy for us. Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? All of our plans, who we thought we were, the direction we're heading in our life, just like the rug got pulled out from under us. And so it's been an incredibly confusing time. And this square can tell us about this. And then the deal with the blooming of this is that the nodes are still sitting at 1 degree. So North Node Gemini, South Node Sag. And interestingly enough, they switch signs right around the time that we feel the influence of the Saturn square Uranus come off. So it'll be a whole year of this influence that we started feeling last January. And so Saturn square Uranus comes off on the 19th of January. That's also the day that the nodes switch signs. So very, very powerful, because we know that at the end of the sign, the beginning of the sign, there's a big bloom of the energy of the sign. So we're having a massive bloom of, it's interesting because we're moving out of the mutable energy with the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are about like direction forward, what's holding us back from the past. But Jupiter has just moved over into Pisces, a mutable sign. So that is Pisces. Jupiter is just like this big energy of expansion and like a crystal. And so it just brings more of whatever it comes across. And so right now, crossing over, it just made its third and final crossover, the shift of ages point, this point between Aquarius and Pisces. And all of this astrology is about this. And as I say this, I kind of feel this argument coming from Supernova souls of like, no, you've been talking about this age of Aquarius stuff for so long, and I'm not seeing it. Where's the evidence? you know? And that is the interesting thing about these times that we're in. It's like the reverse evidence, and that is the book of Revelations. We know that this time has corresponding energies to the book of Revelations, and which means to be revealed. And so we're waiting and waiting for the new world, the Aquarian age, to be revealed. We're living it in our heart. We haven't given up on that vision. We're like totally devoted and dedicated. And all we're seeing is evidence of the opposite. And that has to do with this strange place that we're at in this timeline shift. Or it's interesting because from the beginning of this period of time, it's been confusing. Like I go back and forth between this image of timelines converging, like crashing into each other, and timelines splitting. And so I'm not sure which one it is, or is it both? But that speaks to the very confusing time that we're in. Now, that's the deal. Pisces energy is beautiful and spiritual, and it feels like, oh, I feel connected. But it's also very confusing and rules delusions that keep us enslaved. It's almost like the Pisces represents that end of the zodiac. It's the last sign of the zodiac before the Aries rebirth. And so it represents the death cycle. It represents that near-death experience of going to talk to God and being like, whoa, I totally just was not seeing the bigger picture, And so that energy of this beautiful mystical energy, which is so powerful, especially for supernova souls right now, because it's like, oh yeah, this is way bigger, stay in the vision of it, stay in the dream. So Jupiter moving over to Pisces has a beautiful energy of supporting us in dreaming our new dream, co-creating this reality, and maybe that's been part of it. Maybe we've been lured into sleep, sitting back and waiting for it to happen to us. And we are the happening, apparently. So that's why this moment right now we're coming into, I think it's around in about 15 minutes or the next half an hour or 45 minutes is about when the moon comes exactly into this square. But so I want to just be really present with that energy, and then we'll do some questions and maybe a guided meditation to kind of tap in, be present, and use the most of this incredibly potent time. Jupiter crossing over into Pisces is this whole different energy. And it's like we've been having that bloom of the Aquarian age. Now, we have to understand that maybe part of the confusion around the Aquarian age has to do with all of the energies of each astrological sign have different octaves, right? And so the age of Aquarius, the lower octave, which we've already played out in Atlantean time, that has to do with technology being misused against humanity. And I think this is almost like a very powerful time loop for us to like heal and release, because supernova souls, it seems that because we were working with this technology in Atlantean time, which was so beautiful, and it was all for the benefit of humanity. And it was this incredible experience of working with these advanced technologies that probably it could be the very last time you felt on this earth, and it might have been your very first incarnation too, but where you felt like you were fully supported in the work you came here to do. And those technologies that we brought for the good of humanity and we're having so much fun working with, then were used as a weapon. Now, you had nothing to do with that except for maybe there's a subconscious shame, grief, blaming ourselves because we did bring the technology originally. It's just all a trap. And so this astrology is like, how are you going to get out of the trap? Because Mars coming in to interact with this T-square is a motor on the boat. It's like, yeah, squares are like tension. You can't go anywhere. You're stuck. You've got to make a massive change. And Mars is coming in at this other angle. And it's kind of like, all right, here you go. I don't know what this means. It feels like we've been continually getting messages over the years that supernova souls, we need to walk away, drop everything from the past that no longer serves us. Ooh, this is super on the table right now with the Venus retrograde. old love relationships coming up, issues from relationships, issues, our deepest, most vulnerable places, insecurities. Whew. And it's like, because right now Venus is retrograde. So not only do we have Jupiter just moved over into Pisces and this square with the moon making this T square, we also have Venus, Mercury, and Pluto all together in Capricorn. And so the combination of this astrology is just off the charts. And maybe it is like a rocket ship we can get in and shoot off to the reality that can better support us. This is where, everything right now with this Capricorn energy and Venus retrograde in Capricorn and Mercury preparing to take a retrograde. That's the other thing about this day. Mercury is moving into retrograde shadow. And that happens at 24 degrees, right? They're not too far from Pluto at 25 degrees. So it's like this feeling of now Jupiter's moving forward in new territory, and that's all exciting. And we're coming to the end of these chapters of this square and moving, taking the thrust of the square with this Mars energy and giving us that energy to leap over, take that leap into the void, be the fool. But Venus and Mercury in council with Pluto, and Venus retrograde and Mercury feeling kind of abandoned there with Pluto. Mercury's Pluto conjunction will be exact tomorrow on the 30th. And so it's kind of like these vulnerable places within us and our mind that's been so manipulated and so confused, and our vulnerable intuitive self standing up against the man, against authority. And this is the quintessential issue we're dealing with here. At this point in time, humanity, it's about our sovereignty and autonomy. Otherwise, we're becoming robots in the matrix. We really don't have any choice. And it's crazy. And it's even crazier because a lot of people don't realize this. They have no idea. They're just going through with their life. They have no idea this threat and what's really going on. And maybe none of us know what's going on, and maybe that's part of it. But we have to keep our eye on the prize. And this Venus retrograde always brings up our deepest vulnerabilities. And in Capricorn, it's where we feel that we've given our power away. Have you had any personal relationships where you gave your power away? That's just what happens with empath souls and that narcissist empath relationship that plays out. And so we have to go back into this darkness. We have to go back into almost like it's like facing the mind control, facing the control energies, and going back and getting that most innocent self and claiming that part back. This, us as a child of God, cannot be held down by any force on any level. But until we claim our sovereignty, until we claim our autonomy, and until we say, hey, I do not consent to your authority over me, because now we know that there's nothing more powerful, there's no higher authority than a human soul in a body, save creation. So this is interesting because no wonder it's such a sticky turning point for humanity, because like we've got to claim our sovereignty or we're done. But then that means we're taking our place as co-creators. And are you really ready for that responsibility? It's like a teenager complex. And that's exactly what it feels like right now with this Mercury, Venus, and Pluto. It's that teenager that wants freedom, wants to be in control, thinks they know everything, and then really can't handle it. They actually still need a parent. So how do we grow up and take back our world? And that's everything this astrology is speaking to. So Jupiter moving over into Pisces means that it's an exact square with the nodes of the moon right now. And it's like, oh, this bloom of energy, the bloom of vulnerabilities, the bloom of karmic relationships, the bloom of giving our power away to narcissist agendas. This bloom of the world not going our way. Finally, can we have it go our way? Isn't there enough of us now in this critical mass? Because indeed, this Saturn square Uranus is the turning of the tide. It's like, okay, yeah, energetic upgrade. And then it's like, there's that, this transit has an energy of the log jam, right? It's like there's too much trying to go through a narrow place. And maybe this is in our psyche, this Mercury, Venus, Pluto, like, I'm overwhelmed. The more I think about it, the more I try to figure it out, the more confused I am. And so, really, I guess the picture, when you put all of this astrology together, it's like we're coming to this narrow place and we can't fit through, So how are we going to sort this out? And what is it that can't fit through? Is it other people you feel responsible for? Is it some sort of role that you thought you were here to play? Some identity in a human context that is no longer serving you, that, the shoes you've been walking in, the clothes you've been wearing, metaphorically, the roles you've been playing. Because if we are going to get out of this mess, and we already won, right? But it's like we can't just claim back our autonomy. Then there's like a big vacuum, a void in our society. What are we going to fill this energy with? This space. Excuse me. We're going to fill it. We've got to fill it with our solutions, our love, our projects, our action in the world that brings the positive changes we want to see. And I know it feels impossible. And that's the energy of Saturn. Saturn is such an interesting energy. And it's almost like maybe this is the deal with this square. Because Saturn is our manifest world. It's the laws and rules of our 3D reality. But they're changing with Saturn in Aquarius, or trying to. And everything right now is about this, because Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius, is the ruler of Capricorn, but it's also a ruler of Aquarius. And so it's kind of like that adjustment that we need to go through to take our world back by taking our place back as co-creators. So Saturn in Aquarius is a really tricky placement, because Saturn is like, okay, this is like the laws and rules, the way we've defined time, all the things that keep us tracking straight in this reality. And that's the deal with all this mutable energy with the nodes. We haven't been tracking straight. We lost our rudder. We've just been going in complete circles, So that's something to look forward to. Actually, around the 19th of January, we've got this influence coming off of this square. We've got the nodes switching signs, but it won't really be until the retrogrades resolve. Like Venus turns direct on the 29th of January. So pretty much January 2022 is like some weird dream sequence journey, as we have that bloom of Pisces energy. And the resolving of these old chapters. So it's like a recapitulation period of time. But after that, especially after Mercury goes direct, which will be on the 4th of February. And so as we move through February, there's going to be a little bit more like, oh, wait, oh, this is what I was doing. Now it makes sense. I couldn't do this because I had to do this and this. And now I can put some pieces back together and get back on that path. And really, it's about getting to work. 222, 2022, 3 2s. It's pretty powerful. 222 added up, it's 6. And so maybe this 2022 is the final battle around taking back our humanity, because 6 is a number of humanity, and 6 was used by the dark side. All of the numbers are God's numbers, right? But then the dark players took over the number 6, and made us scared of it. But 6 is a representation of humanity, and isn't that what they want to steal from us? Our empathy. See, this is the deal. It's like our empathy, our intuition, our sensitivity, our ability to feel. This is why everyone is watching humanity right now with their popcorn and on the cosmic galactic spheres, or realms, or whatever the hell's going on. This is the wealth. We have it. And are we going to continue to feed the monster and the matrix and be farmed and fed upon? Or are we going to take back our world? And so it's a really interesting energy. And so if Saturn is about trying to figure out the laws and rules, so maybe 2022 is like where we take back humanity, where we say, oh, this is the wealth of this world. When we take care of each other, when we feel, when we do what we know is right, and we can, because as humans evolve, this is the sticky place we're at. Like, as humanity evolves spiritually, which has been happening, the news isn't going to show you that shit, but you feel it. These energies are intense and powerful and beautiful and scary, and what in the heck is going on? And nothing in our outside world, a lot of even the people around you, if you talk to them, be like, are you feeling it? They're like, what are you talking about? You're weird. It's like, oh yeah, we're feeling it. And that's because you are the gold, you are the gift, you have the ability to feel. And as we evolve as a culture, as we evolve spiritually in consciousness, what happens is we get more and more sensitive, more and more empathic. So we've got to clean up our world, because we can't have this discrepancy. We can't have poverty. We can't have hunger. We can't have people's needs not being met. It's like never going to fly, because we're going to get way too sensitive. And that's the pressure you guys are feeling. And what that means when you feel the weight of the world, it means you're transforming the weight of the world. I mean, and maybe that's not really what maybe this is also what this year's about, because it's like the Pisces energies with Jupiter now in Pisces, it's representing the distortions of the Piscean age, and the distortions of the Christ mythology. And so what we are cleaning up there is sacrifice, martyr, and it's like, supernova souls, is that what we came here for? Or did we come here for our full expression? Right? Because I've done a lot of charts of supernova souls, astrological charts, and there's this energy that'll come up and it'll be like, oh yeah, you could complete your karma here. You can complete your earth experience, but you're not really done. You've been doing all of that to get to what you really came for. And what is that? Because this is where we need to be putting our energy right now. On this timeline jump right now, right here in this energy, that you came here for full expression and you don't even know what that is. It will blow you away. A full expression of who you are. And how beautiful to do it in an earthly body. I mean, I know that so much of the journey and the heaviness of this world has been so hard for you, supernova soul. But we also have to, there's so weird agendas playing out now, right? Like we're clearing authority energies on the earth, but then we've got galactic authorities. They're like, oh no, humanity, you need us to take care of you. You can't handle it. This is what you get every time if you're going to break free from a control-based situation. And I know supernova souls, you've gone through this, right? You break free from a control-based situation, that person who's been controlling you is going to tell you, oh, you're not okay without me. And that's exactly what's going on with the galactic authorities right now. And they're scaring us, right? And this weird in-between energy, it's like, oh, and what are you going to do without us to save you? And it's like, that's a bunch of bull crap, because we are direct consciousness. We are source energy embodied. We are a fractal of God consciousness. Get out. Get out unless you're absolutely in alignment with true human spiritual sovereignty. And that's where it's like, maybe this is a time for us to be really clear in our boundaries in this Venus retrograde. Like, hey, that's cool. No judgment, but I'm not playing. And if you are wanting to play and you want to go along with the fear programming and you want to go get yourself all shot up with poison because they said to, go ahead. But not in my world. And being really powerful, like creators, like maybe our first step in, really taking on the role as co-creators is being like, I'm in charge of my reality. Once you do this and you have this mantra of like, I do not consent to outside authority over me, you will start to see how this plays out because it's super subtle. It'll just be one little distraction, some problem over here, some weird message on social media, and it'll just like try to trigger you back into a way to feed on your energy. And as you begin to take your energy back, they will get more and more creative of how to get back in because you've got what everyone wants. And this has been your whole problem all along. And this is the energy of this time, is to stand strong and true in our role as co-creators, in that we came here not for karmic sacrifice and bullshit. We came here for the full expression of who we are. And there's a little bit of a trick out there being like, maybe this is the Saturn square Uranus, because it's like, oh yeah, humans, you can ascend and then you don't need a body. It'll be so much easier. It's like, no. We went through all of this to transform our world into a place that we can live and be comfortable and flourish and thrive. Our birthright is to experience our spiritual evolution, empowerment in a physical body. In this world, we haven't gotten a chance to actually live yet. Really, really powerful. And that's the energy of the Mars coming in to this interaction. I mean, crazy. Today we've got Mars at 11 degrees, Saturn at 11 degrees, Uranus at 11 degrees, and Uranus is still retrograde. So it's going to go to 10 degrees tomorrow. So right here, right now, as the moon comes to 11 degrees Scorpio and making a T-square with these planets, it's like, oh, it's so dynamic and so weird and so strange that you can actually see through the keyhole. And maybe this is the message for us, is it's time to exercise our right as co-creators right here, right now. Having those boundaries of to create in your energetic realm, and to have the strength and the will to do this, because Mars is now coming into relation with this right here, right now, the moon and the T-square. And so Mars is, like I said, it's the motor on the boat. It's our masculine. It's action. It's war, but it's also like directed action, the will force. And so we're still learning about what it is the divine masculine is, And so, but leading up to for the last few days, actually through Christmas, it was exact on Christmas, Mars was in a trine with Chiron in Aries. And it's so beautiful, the story, the way it's played out. I mean, astrology is such a fascinating story being played out for us with messages. It's not that these planets are out there. They're inside of each of us. We all have these energies. And so the messages that are playing out, really, we know that it's all mathematical, geometric cycles. So when they line up in this way, it's like, whoa. Because you can't, one of these transits is so incredibly powerful, but you put all of them together. And so Mars is the key here, because now after that trine with Chiron, and Chiron is the deepest wounds, and in Aries, it's the wounds around giving our life force and our power away, which is the total key to everything. That's why they're going after our immune system. The biggest threat to the matrix is our little old immune system Can you believe that shit? Guard that with your life. Like, claim vitality right here, right now. And that's what that Mars in trine, a very supportive transit, and Mars in Sagittarius. So it's saying like Mars in Sagittarius is like the warrior rising from the depths, the phoenix rising from the ashes and getting back on the epic journey to complete its mission here, you know, and the final thrust with that, exactly with that energy with Chiron. And it's saying that, oh, wait, we, just like we're saying, like this, our power, the way we get back on our quests and our mission and purpose, humanity, is through our vitality, recognizing and honoring. You know, perhaps there will be festivals in the future celebrating the heroes of this time, but celebrating our life force, our immune system, our ability to heal itself. Like, whoa, you guys remember when we put those masks on and we thought that that was going to like protect against a virus, even though it's just a particulate mask. It doesn't even really work for dust. It was actually a submission muzzle. Do you remember when we went through all that? But those brave warriors within us said, no, we're not going to do it. And stood for humanity and stood for the immune system and the power, our God-given right to thrive here. This is our turning point because Mars rules the physical body. And Mars is a ruler of Aries, and Chiron is speaking to the wounds of our life force, which is this attack. I mean, disease throughout time is just a continual attack on humanity. And we've overcome it all. And now is the final one, which is AI, artificial intelligence. And if we don't overcome this one, but if we do, we're God beings and co-creating in this beautiful experience of, now that's what I see as the big shift in the Aquarian age. It really does have to do with Saturn, the ruler of time, because the Aquarian age is way different dimensional energy, a totally different experience with time. And so maybe our relationship to Saturn and our understanding of Saturn is absolutely crucial. And maybe that's why the Saturn square is the placement of it right here at this turning point in time. Because the energy that I see ultimately shifting for supernova souls is that up until this point, this world has deliberately worked against you to a point where you got so used to it, you didn't even realize how much the forces were constantly working against you, your light, your healing, your presence, your connection to source. No wonder it's gotten so intense for you. If you're succumb to the matrix and you're like, cool, I'll be your robot, you're not being hassled right now. Life's going along nice and smooth, you know? And, but for those of us who have chosen freedom and are not going to give that up, it's very powerful energy. So the Aquarian age, the shift into the new age, is a complete rehash of Saturn, because Saturn has represented up to this point. Well, okay, so Saturn in the birth chart has an energy of where you, like your true Dharma path. It's the path. It's interesting because ironically it does hold the kernel, the key of your full expression. It's like, how do you want to do that full expression? It's going to have the energy of Saturn's placement in your chart is really important. It's your core work. It's your Dharma. It's your path, your truth. But Saturn also represents the obstacles to our path. And so supernova souls, we've just had obstacle after obstacle, you know, because the energies are working against the light and the healing and the truth and the peace and the love and the care. And so you can see how this Venus retrograde and Mercury going up against the authority and, you know, realizing they're all alone trying to stand up against the man. It's this feeling of like exhaustion. And while humanity has slept, you've stayed awake, battling out there on the front lines. But what if it's all worth it? because this shift into the Aquarian age is literally getting rid of old Saturn. It's getting rid of all of the stories, because Saturn, the mystery with Saturn is that let's see, Edgar Casey's readings talked about Saturn as a place that you go as a soul if you need to be recycled, right? If you're not going to make it through the evolution and things got so off kilter, and you go and get recycled. So Saturn is like the father, the law, the rules. And so to me, it feels like Saturn represents the original divine timeline, but then it was absconded and stolen and distorted. And the age of Aquarius, in order to actually get to the age of Aquarius, to even continue human life on Earth, we've got to take Saturn back. We got to take time back. And so the energy of Saturn is really connected to this Father God, this idea that there's something outside of us that we need to pray to. We need to earn our love and trust back. We need to do something to make up for something, to prove ourselves. And that's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit that's completely contrived with structured religion. And exactly how the energies of that and mystical energies being controlled humanity through the Piscean age. So Jupiter in Pisces is going to be a replay of this, but it's also our opportunity to reach up and grab that Christ consciousness. The whole point of all the drama of the Piscean age was the light coming in. And then those that held the light had to disperse and hide and pretend they weren't the light and take vows of secrecy and stay far away from each other and bury the scrolls and bury the teachings. So the false teachings of religion on all levels have to do with some outside authority between you and God that you've got to reconcile with. And it's not. There's none between us and God unless you put something there. And even though most supernova souls don't buy into this energy, it's like you don't have the belief system that you've got to like prove and be worthy to God and like all that. But subconsciously, we've been really programmed with it, because that's why they persecuted us so much, to make sure we had this programming of fear and trauma and attachment, almost like life itself for me on Earth is traumatic and I'm just going to have to do it. And no, we've been prisoners far too long. And if we don't claim right now our righteous path of revelation and our full expression of what it means to be a spiritual being in a human body, so right now, this moment, this powerful square with the moon in Scorpio making this T-square, and the moon in Scorpio is like, it's bringing up it's almost like the moon in Scorpio is bringing up all of vulnerable emotions that we'd rather not face, that are being brought up by Mercury and Venus crossing paths next to Pluto as Mercury turns retrograde. Venus has turned retrograde and Mercury is going into retrograde shadow. It's like, boom. It's like, I thought I was getting somewhere and now I'm right back at the starting point. I feel like I've gotten nowhere, and what is the point? And nobody around me gets it. And what in the heck is going on, But if this is our moment to claim that sovereignty and that full expression and that world we came here for, we don't get to get out without it. And that's why nothing can stop what's coming. So we've got to use this time to go back and again, there was this powerful connection between authority contracts, galactic level authority contracts of wherever we bought into that outside power outside of ourselves, which is exactly the energy of the punishing God, and it's like a big, huge lie, because we are the highest on the totem pole, a human soul in a body consciously aware of itself. And that means you have access to Christ's consciousness to wield like a sword of truth. It's absolute protection. And once you know this in your heart and soul, nothing can touch you. So maybe this is what it's pushing us into finding this inner strength. But there was this connection between control-based relationships from your past and having to go back with Venus retrograde and get, maybe you got out of the situation, but you didn't heal completely. Or in order to get out of the situation, you had to leave a part of you behind. Ooh, is this what happened to us lifetime after lifetime? And why we need soul retrieval and like put our pieces back together? Because it was like, oh, get out of this situation, escape, but you can only escape by paying the price. So that feels like our guided meditation today might have to do with this soul retrieval opportunity, maybe where there's any parts of ourselves that are stuck. So wherever you've given your power away or had to leave it behind in past lives with galactic level authorities, that's playing out in your personal relationships right now. Oh, it's so fun, Oh, it's like this price you have to pay for, it's like, well, you can do it our way and be our prisoner captive, or you can be completely alone. And it's like, no, we're not playing anymore. Supernova souls, we are popping off like fireworks right now. And the only thing we need is to actually come together and do that together. That's all we need. So no wonder everything's going into making sure we don't. Now, this is really interesting because it's got to come up. Over the years, I've been working towards opening up, trying to find the pathway to support supernova souls to come together and connect. And as soon as that pathway opens a little bit, there is a massive block. And this comes from our fear programming around being together, So we've been programmed to fear our own power. That's why we had to leave it behind. And so if we are two of us, we're way more powerful, way more of a target. And you said you would never put your community at risk again, And so you went into hiding and you dispersed and you agreed to live your life without other supernova souls for the most part. And we're at the point now where all we need to do is like we're having our personal activations and empowerments, right? All we have to do is come together. So maybe that will come up today in our meditation, an opportunity to break those authority contracts or any secrecy contracts or dispersion contracts, keeping us from allowing our soul group members to just fall into our life. The magnetic power of us together is so powerful. So what is the power that's keeping us apart? It must be our own fear. And it comes right back to this fear of our own power. So this is a lot of the Mars energy in Sagittarius. Mars stepping back into the epic journey of just claiming back his destiny, the divine masculine, being like, whoa, what was I doing? Like standing back up in our power. This is this surge of life force that we need to overcome. And that's an interesting energy because the moon in Scorpio, this is the deep, dark secrets, the shadow, what's been hidden. And the moon is very much associated with this. Like we don't even know what is going on with our moon. Did we go to the moon or because that looks like a movie set? But now we heard there's bases on the moon. It's like a satellite. Maybe it was put up there to control women because it's like, it's like, okay, well, it's a satellite. It's some weird thing, but it still affects us, And maybe we're only really meant to have a few natural fertility cycles a year like animals. But the moon is about controlling the womb of the female humans and to keep them reproducing. Oh, right. And then now we have this huge problem with overpopulation, right? We need to kill you all. Eugenics program with vaccinations. So, wow, we've been so manipulated. And the truth is not pretty, except for that the place of darkness, avoiding these truths, is getting way too uncomfortable for humanity. And maybe that's the simplest way, supernova souls, you're here to guide the way, is to fearlessly face these crazy truths, you know, and the more truth you find, the more questions we have. But at some point, the timelines need to converge or split or both. And that is the disclosure where we, even those of us who really think we know what's going on and studied all this stuff for all these years about truth and the world and spiritual concepts and all of these things, we still are going to get our minds completely blown. The world is going to be completely different. So don't lose sight of that. In this weird time, in between time, these nights, the holy nights, which is between the birth of the body of Christ, of Jesus, and then Epiphany represents the birth of the Christ in the body. And so these holy nights between Christmas and Epiphany on January 6th, Orthodox Christmas is on the 7th of January. This is about time in between time where we're exploring the whole point, the whole bigger picture of human evolution, where we came from source and Adam and Eve and the purity and came through this evolution to come back to Christ consciousness fully embodied in our field, coming back to God, but with our individuality. And so these holy nights can be really powerful as we use each of the 12 archetypes of the astrological signs to explore the journey, the bigger picture of what it is we're doing here. And so I'm doing holy night meditations on the Telegram channel. The information is in the box below. And once those holy night meditations are recorded, they're posted on the wall. So you can go back and get those and work with those in whatever way you would like. But the idea was to a night and then sleeping. This is based on indications given by Rudolf Steiner about these holy nights, exploring the energies of the month of last year, and then dreaming, visioning, recording, and exploring the energies around that month in the new year. So it's a way to recapitulate and completely leave behind. And for us supernova souls, it's such a great opportunity in this very dynamic astrology to completely leave behind all of those trauma stories that keep getting us hooked in, which are playing out in our relationships and our past relationships right now with Venus retrograde. I mean, it's just the perfect storm for us to break free. So when you feel intense, when you feel vulnerable, when you feel like, oh, it's like, oh, that's Venus retrograde. Oh yeah, Mercury turn retrograde. Oh yeah. And all of this stuff that I thought I could run away from, I can't, because they have a piece of me. And no one on nothing on any level has any more right to my energy, because now I see what I've got, this precious, beautiful abundance. And I'm going to hold tight and station myself in a way. This is Venus in Capricorn, right? She's like, okay, I was pushed into this audience with the tyrannical king. They closed the door behind me. I thought I was representing the people, but they've abandoned me. And I'm going to just stand right here as my own sentry guard until the others come. And so that's the powerful energy of this time. And knowing it's temporary, knowing it's a shift, knowing we're traveling into new territory. And so we're in the time in between on multiple levels. And those holy nights meditations are designed to just really take advantage of this particular season, because this astrology is telling us, we've got to flip the tables and turn into the new age. And this square is like the last hold of time, the old constructs of time. So right here, right now, this moon in Scorpio speaking to the hidden, what's been hidden and in the depths. And Scorpio wants to, is willing to face the dark stories of the relationships and the emotions, because it's like Scorpio wants authenticity and meaning and purpose, and this is really the crossroads for humanity, which is powerful because we got the South Node moving into Scorpio. Ooh, must be a time of disclosure, because the South Node is what's holding us back from the past. So it's like we're becoming more and more disconnected, more and more out of our body, more and more programmed, and all that, just generally in humanity. But we are having actually an opportunity to become more and more present and more centered and more in charge of our own autonomy and reality. Um, and say, yeah, I'm not going to play. I came all this way for this. I'm not giving up now. So I've got an excruciating month of January 2022 where I go single-handedly face the devil that showed up in my past relationships and took a part of me and ate. Just like, I just saw a picture of like this kind of like monster just like taking a big bite out of your soul, And it's like, guess what though? It's still your soul. You're the only one who has claim on it. You're the only one who can take it back. But you didn't know that it was gone. So all of this converging together, and Scorpio coming into this T-square is meaning the moon is exactly opposite of Uranus and Taurus, speaking to the nodal shift. It looks like the next 2 years, massive disclosure and a revolution of wealth. When the South Node gets to, when the North Node in Taurus catches up with Uranus, that's really powerful because it's like the wealth revolution we've been talking about with Uranus and Taurus, and that will happen around the middle of Taurus. So like halfway through, Uranus being halfway through, and it's kind of like, boom, the light is going on. As long as we're running from those truths, those shadowy truths, it's keeping us from being authentic and real. And we're giving our life over to simulation. And so those of us that are brave and strong and are facing these monsters and facing these authorities are standing for humanity right now and holding this. It doesn't take very many of us to just hold this space of truth. And the wealth revolution we talked about, like that particularly speaks to you because you've got all this inside of you that has not yet been able to be expressed. You have been expressing and playing with about this much of what you have. So maybe this time in between time is a time to, yes, sort and clear out, but like really use this Jupiter and Pisces energy of visionary ability and be like, oh yeah, no, there's so much more to this story. There's so much more to me. And there's no way around it. Nothing can stop that expression. They've held it back for thousands of years too long. Are you ready for the wrath? Not the wrath of God, but the wrath of the starseeds, being like, enough already. And so it's intense, man. We're being asked for this empowerment, but then the divine masculine stepping up in such a beautiful way because Mars in that trine to Chiron, seeing like, this is what it's all about, you guys. We are power, our story, taking back our story, our timeline, our full expression, our world. We can't give up now. And it has to do with our life force and our ability to heal ourselves and vitality. And we got this. And then right as Mars came out is still in that square, trine with Chiron, but then right into this relationship with this T-square. So the T-square is just like a fixed T-square. It's like, it's set in stone. You're never going to turn this corner, and Saturn is holding a grudge, and not wanting the wealth revolution to come in, not wanting the Aquarian age to come in because they know they lose everything. And, but Mars coming in at this angle, it's coming into now at 11 degrees in a sextile to Saturn. And this is so powerful because Saturn in Aquarius and Mars in this activated divine masculine will force warrior, like watch out. And so the T square, the T square is like a T, right? It's like this. And then here's Saturn coming into the Uranus and the moon, say. And so Mars is coming in over here at an angle and just kind of like usurping the program, right? And so It's powerful energy right now. And Mars will stay in this T square. We'll feel this through the end of the year into like the first or second. So use this time outside of time to garner and gather the strength within you of the warrior, but the warrior's coming in at this mystical angle. And because the sextile is 2 signs apart, 60 degrees, and it's absolutely magical energy. So Saturn, the divine masculine, empowered with life force, coming in and being like, time to turn the wheel. Thousands of years is too long to be off of our path. And literally going right in that sextile to Saturn, and and like being a key, in the lock. It's like literally we're in this big turnaround place in our timeline, like a keyhole turn. And this is the key. And it's like, okay, we're jimmying the lock on this reality, on time, on space, because we're not going to give up. We're not going to go to the 1 yard line and then not get to the goal. So we're here and we're standing. Yes, it's going to be a little weird because we're in retrograde season and the holy nights and the third and final Saturn square Uranus and Mars and the moon in Scorpio and, all of this at one time. So really powerful energies. And what are we getting? Be still. Be still in that still point. Be still in that strength. Maybe this is it. Stillness has been, has an energy of like weakness, but in this stillness, it's strength. And so we'll kind of see how this unfolds, but know that the whole month of January is this Venus retrograde going to these vulnerable places, and we're just setting up. This month is just, it's going to be in between. It's not going to feel like reality. It's not going to feel like the old. It's not going to feel like the new. And we can just be there in that place of stillness, outside in this place of the time in between time, outside of duality, because indeed that is the big shift into the Aquarian age. It's outside of duality thinking. And so this is the impossibility. Really, this might be the crux of the Saturn-Uranus square, because logically, and this is programming, but as we explore these concepts, it kind of, the energy comes forward as like, you can't have both. You don't get to be in 3D, or you don't get to be in manifested form and not in duality consciousness. It's like, hell yeah, we do. Watch it. This is the miracle. We are not giving up on our full expression to live in a human body as God consciousness. No way. And we're not buying into your lies. We're taking back our timeline. We're clearing those authority contracts. We're facing the darkest depths so that we can have that wealth revolution. And the wealth revolution, the new evidence that's coming, there's the evidence, the evidence of the revelation is all of the dark truths, right? But then there's also the evidence of the light, of Christ consciousness, of the truth of who we are as beings. And it's like, talking through all of this, it's just so clear that we've made it so far. There's no turning back now. And that's a good thing. Can we rest here in this pause, in this knowing that we already won? The world is going our way. And that was the point I was getting to with the Saturn shift, that the age of Aquarius is feeling like, for the light worker, for the healer, for the humanitarian, now we're supporting you. Everything's been working against you. It's the worst thing in the world when something happens and you don't have a way to help. You want to help. That's who you are. You're human. And you are a star human. You are amazing and magnificent. The light of this world, because you hold it all, the wealth. And can we sit there in that wealth? Because what would it be like if we all had simple training to help? Oh, leave it to the health professionals. Sorry, I just have to let this person die on the street. What? Why don't we all know body work? Why aren't we all touching each other all the time? Why aren't we all making sure that everybody's fed and clothed and loved? And so they've been telling us that these problems are beyond solutions, and it's ridiculous. So, ready to come back into our power, into our world, but we've got this time in between time, a time to be in still point, a time to be in rest, a time to be in the strength of knowing that you're not giving up and you came for full expression. And the next chapter is the world finally supporting you in your goodness, in your righteousness, in your truth. And in that place where you never gave up, you get to lead humanity into this golden age. That's who you are. So we'll be focusing on this as we move into a guided meditation, but I'm going to take a couple of questions. If you have anything you want to talk about or ask about, if you want to put it into the chat, and I will take a look. And looks like our technology is going okay right now. So just let me know if you have any questions. You can put them into the chat. And it's a lot going on. It feels like it's like nothing's going on again, and a lot's going on. This astrology is just so dynamic and so complex. And yet we're at still point. We can't move. We can't budge an inch right now because we've got retrograde season. So Kiernan says, I know you say supernova, but what are we? Well, supernova concept came through. I started getting downloads about these type of souls in 2015 through my personal sessions, past life sessions, and astrology sessions with individuals. And of course, it's felt like it was these souls that were finding me. And in each session, I got a little more piece of the puzzle. And those insights, those downloads that came through pretty much systematically through the year of 2015 formed a picture. And this picture is like a brand and who we are. Now, I see supernova as an umbrella term for all star seeds. It's really, I don't like all the categorizations, although that can be helpful and useful at times to identify an energy that you resonate with, say it's a crystal or a diamond or rainbow or whatever. There's all these different names. But supernova soul is an umbrella term for, and the definition that came through is that souls that have prior experience before coming to Earth evolution. That means you're purified on a soul level, already an initiate, already gone through spiritual ascension, already experienced light body, and this is your problem. And it's also the wealth within you that we need right now. So that is the ultimate definition of a supernova souls, that prior experience before coming to this Earth evolution, which involves most likely light body activation and actually going through spiritual ascension. It might be different, might have been, we're doing it differently this time. And in the past, it's more like you sleep through the experience, Now we're doing it fully consciously as we change our bodies and the Earth to light. It's pretty profound. It's quite a mission. Don't get caught in the weeds right now. This energy, Mars and Sagittarius, wants us to stay way, way, way bigger picture. And that's like, you came here for more. There's more inside of you. So part of the supernova story is that you could only, because of the time you were born on the Earth, or your family that you were born into, or both, it's like you couldn't quite bring all of your light in. So it's like there's this bigger part of you that's been waiting to incarnate. And it also fits the light body energy. It fits the Christ consciousness, this bigger self. And that's been kind of like all these indications came through. And it's like, oh, okay, there's that. And then it's like they're still mysteries to us and making more and more sense as time goes on, as we put these pieces together. So the main energy that's come through for supernova souls is that you are here because of your placement in this bigger self, in this prior experience. You're here to lead the way for spiritual ascension. And that's not fun. I mean, it should be fun. Can we get to the fun part now? You know? But it's like you're carving a pathway for humanity that doesn't even think, they just want to go watch Netflix, and let me do whatever I need to do to be fit in. We've been so traumatized. So let's see. Got a couple other questions. So here's from Heavenly Peace Coaching. When are we meeting our true twin flames? Well, this is an interesting concept. At the very early energies of when this information started to come through, I got a message that, there's so much we talked about that interferes with supernova souls coming together. And that's because we've all made contractual arrangements to make sure that we don't endanger each other, because we've been targeted. And so two is way more of a target, right? So it's always been this question like, well, how do we bring supernova souls together? And early on, I got this message like, well, first the intimate partner, either soulmate or twin flame, comes, and then that magnetically draws in the soul group. And so that's an interesting concept, and I didn't really like it. I kind of put it aside. It's like, okay, whatever, But then as it's been increasingly difficult to bring supernova souls together, it's like, oh, wait, there's something to this. We got to get this figured out. But there seems to be an energy, because I know very few supernova souls that have a true healthy soulmate or twin flame relationship. Very few. So wait a minute, what's going on? Because supernova souls have come here to work in divine partnership. This is part of what we're doing. We're all about bringing harmony and peace. We've all experienced cultures throughout time that were based in the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. And so that the culture means that there isn't like necessarily specific roles for each, although there might be, but it's just the leadership and the whole setup of society, like say in the Essenes and many other cultures throughout time, the masculine and the feminine in exact perfect balance. That's how you create the world you want to see. So wouldn't it make sense that we came here to work in our twin flame soulmate relationships to be the living, breathing example of this perfect harmony between the masculine and feminine? So supernova souls, I've seen it again and again in birth charts. It's like every single one probably, you came here to do that. So a lot of supernova souls are like, oh, it's okay. I'm really happy being alone and that's fine. Da, 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 da. It's like, no. This is a bigger part of the story. You can't run away from this, But the thing is that if that twin flame soulmate shows up and you're not ready to receive who you are in your glorious magnificence, then you're going to be scared shitless. That person is going to show up in your life and mirror back to you who you really are. And if you can't receive who you are, you're going to run. So it's really, really tricky. But what seems to be playing out is that it's a very interesting, okay, wait, we came here to work together in this way, but so few relationships so few people are actually found each other. What's going on? And so I did see a picture that as we have this shift of disclosure of truths and changes in our manifest world that we're all waiting for, but it's going to create a vacuum type energy where it goes from right now, supernova twin flames or soulmates are repelling each other. And it's like a polarity shift. Nothing can stop you from coming together. But it does seem like that polarity shift isn't going to happen until we have a big shift as far as the consciousness of humanity facing the truth of where we're really at. We can't keep going on without it, and those control energies are doing everything to keep us in status quo, right? Like la, 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 so subtly and subconsciously traumatized over lifetimes that you just don't question anything. You just accept it all. Just, this bullshit reality and bullshit truth. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. Let's see, one more question or so, and we will move into the guided meditation. So Laura says, question, walking and talking like changes here. Is that good? Is that how we stay centered? Yes, that's really what we're being asked to do, is to live and breathe in these new energies, no matter what the world tells us out there. That's why these holy nights of peace are so powerful, because it's like that inward time where the only reflection you're getting back is from your higher self, you know? And rewiring and re-establishing in this very dynamic astrology is an incredibly powerful time for us to literally jump timelines and start to establish in that 5D energy. We've been visiting there, kind of like parallel. Oh, I'm over here. Oh, I feel it. Oh, I think it's true. Right? Now we're being asked to completely leave behind any other, the old and the lower frequencies, and to actually live and breathe as much as possible in the possibility, in the beautiful world that we're here to co-create. I mean, it's an energetic, it's a vibrational universe, right? And so everything right now in the lower play and the news and the drama is just constantly trying to pull you back. You're not allowed to be happy. How dare you feel good about things right now? This is a major key, is that our light body activation is what's required, many things. But in particular, what's required is alpha waves in our brain. And alpha waves are the energy of the wonder of childhood and the openness and playing and having fun. And, so literally, if supernova souls just little by little took more time to be in that co-creation, playing in the garden, let everything else go away and give yourself that time. So sometimes that's a creative pursuit or activity that can bring you right into that energy of like time goes away and it's just you and God, that. And so, but we have such little permission. It's like, well, that's not making me money. And I've got the traumas and the da 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 da. It's like, this is a great time of year to put that all aside and spend as much time as you can in the garden playing and co-creating. And the more you can establish that vibration, I just saw a pathway opening of your playmates coming to find you. So yes, exactly. We want to live and breathe in the energy we know we want to create. And it's easier said than done, but maybe that's part of this Jupiter moving over into Pisces. So TF says, why do some humans have to be hurt? Well, we have chosen on some level to learn through pain, and then we understand we don't need to do that anymore. And that's a big part of where we are in our evolution right now. So, Tracy says, will divine justice prevail? And it's like, well, we don't have any other choice. And think of it, like, I know you feel completely alone, but look at all the warriors here. Look at all of the warriors that are just, this is the other thing about supernova souls. Even though we're disconnected physically, we're still connected energetically. We came together in a group. Your soul group came together at the beginning of this earth evolution. So the magic of that is that you have experienced very similar stories play out in past lives. And so that says we're all connected. We're all going through it together. You're not alone. That's the biggest lie, the biggest lower matrix vibrational mind fuck. It's literally a quarantine, and it's been specifically placed in the psyche of supernova souls to make you continually feel like you're alone on an island. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. And so we're breaking down those compartmentalizations and opening up to real, live, full experience of life. That's the only thing we can do. That's exactly this Aries energy and this Mars activation. The only thing we can do is really live. If we give up now and we go back to sleep, and we take the blue pill and the vax, it's over for us. for humanity. Do you see how powerful of a placement you are at right now? Don't give this away. Just like, don't give your energy away. You got this precious, beautiful gift. And that's what this next period of time is going to be about. It's this exposure of the darkest dark, the South Node Sag, and the wealth revolution that comes from that. And that knowing that you got the gold, you got the treasures. And so why don't you start uncovering those so that when you do have your supernova tribe, amazing, magnificent souls. I mean, the supernova souls I worked with in individual sessions just blow me away, and teaching and the intuitive training. It's like that. I feel like they're way beyond me, even like what they have inside of them. And then most of them feel like really don't feel great about themselves, or that they've failed, or that they're not good enough. And it's like, oh my God, these gifts and skills and power and the stories that have played out for you in past lives, like that's the thing. The only reason we've really been able to get here into this mess right now has to do with being blocked from our own records, our Akashic records. And they've traumatized us so much that we don't want to look back. And maybe this is the South Node Sag. It's like we haven't wanted to look back at those lifetimes because it's just too traumatizing. But underneath the trauma, before the trauma happened, like, why were you targeted? Oh, your magnificent light, right? And you never gave it up. It only gets stronger. That's the energy of nothing can stop what's coming. Your connection to your soulmate and your twin flame, it's only going to get stronger. Our destiny, our timeline, our ideal reality, this Aquarian age, the movement towards that's only going to get stronger. Right now, it feels like we're digging in deep in the ground with Venus and Mercury preparing, Venus retrograde, Mercury preparing retrograde. It feels like, oh, we've lost, give up. And that's the last thing. That's the furthest thing from the truth. We already won, actually. And this is a recapitulation. Something very powerful happened energetically around the solstice, Christmas. We don't know yet. We don't know yet what that is, but we can feel it. It's like those gates have been opened for us to co-create in the new energies. But are we going to have Stockholm syndrome and hide and stay scared? Venus, as Venus turns direct, there's going to be a massive empowerment of autonomy, of strength, of, those situations where how many times again and again, like this is over lifetimes for supernova souls, you had to not say your truth. You had to shut your trap. You couldn't speak your truth, the truth, because it would get you into trouble or get you killed, or it expose the shadow and they'd come after you. The corruption. And this is also the energy of the silencing of the divine feminine teachings that got buried with the scrolls cut out of the Bible. And so the empowerment that's coming in February, March, as these retrogrades resolve and Venus meets up with Pluto again, and that will happen at the end of February. And it comes out of retrograde shadow at the beginning of March 2nd. So that's going to be really powerful. It's like, oh, that's when Venus has her army. That's when the kings and the soldiers and on all levels of life stand up behind the goddess again. Oh, she did it right all along. That's what holds our world together. In the beautiful rhythm of the cycles and the appreciation of nature and the presence with the energies and the attention to the soul of humanity and what keeps us healthy. That's the goddess. And so these teachings have been silenced, and we've all been incredibly silenced, but it feels like there's a powerful empowerment coming with this as Venus will turn direct and have that conjunction with Pluto again, because then she's strengthened and she's got her army behind her and she's ready to make a stand. And by that time she doesn't even really need to, because we figured it out that we can't go without her. And we can't drag her along, you know, tied up, hogtied. It's not going to work either. We got to put her back in her rightful place and honor the goddess, the feminine again, and that divine masculine rising to the challenge with this current astrology. Really, really powerful, because it's like Mars is coming to the battle now. The divine masculine, he got depressed and injured, and he lost his consciousness. He was like hiding, not hiding. He felt, like behind the bushes. It's like now he's back and he's ready to fight for her while she goes within. And so really, really powerful time. So thank you so much for being here and being present in these really powerful energies. There's so much to talk about. I felt like we could just talk for hours and days, which is just speaks to the power of these times. And yet we have that strange thing of like, we're stuck in between, not moving anywhere. And yet so much is happening. When does this reconcile? I don't know, but we're going to need you, supernova souls, to stand in your truth, stand in your light, stand in your peace with Mother Earth to go through these changes. We need you. So rest up, prepare, heal, love, get ready for the next chapter. So let's just go ahead and feel into these energies for a few minutes and take advantage of these beautiful moments here together. So just feeling yourself arrive right here, right now. There's a picture coming forward of what Rudolf Steiner calls the bathtub. And this is how we come into this evolution close to the angels, the angelic realms, as a child, round and pure and beautiful. And then we go further and further away from spirit. And then we eventually hit the bottom of the bathtub around middle age. And that's when we can ascend back to our connection to spirit. So evolutionary wise right now, and humanity wise and supernova souls, we're at that bottom of the bathtub place. The only way to go is up. And yet there's an energy of the still point at this place. It's like a V. I'm seeing a V. And right at the center of the V, we know that ascending is the only way forward. And yet we're in retrograde season. So let's just be right here at this V. It's like the energies of the universe coming into our heart, reminding us as we recognize the power that we have as souls. The wealth, the abundant wealth, this Venus retrograde being about where we take it back from everywhere that has stolen or we left it behind. It's like going back and gathering up your personal items representing the parts of your soul that you gave away in order to survive. And where you've done it in relationships in this lifetime, that's actually connected to past lives where you were persecuted for your power, your wealth. So go ahead and just take a few deep breaths, feeling yourself right here at this V. We're in a massive turning point, but we're in the still point of the turn. And just take a few deep breaths. Go ahead and anchor into the earth, inviting Earth, Mother Earth, the divine feminine, the great mother. The earth is the great mother in manifest form. It's an example, a living, breathing example of Gaia consciousness, of the feminine. She's here to show us and remind us her constant regeneration, transformational power. She's showing us in a mirror that we are the manifest expression, living, breathing example of the Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness, as a definition, is the source energy, the one true creator energy manifest right here in this dimensional realm. That's you. So Mother Earth is our closest ally right now. There was a message that came through. We so much want to come back together with our soul group, but we must first forge our way back to her. And I'll meet you there. So on an exhale, just imagining putting down a root system. We don't know what's going on with our world, if we're on a planet or a sphere or flat or a donut or a spaceship. But the Mother Earth energy vibration is available to us at all times, no matter what. So reaching deep into the earth, and imagine this mother growing up around you. Our spiritual ascension happens to the earth, and she takes us with her. So we got to get back to mother. And this has been a huge message and energy coming through, is that she wants us to come home to her. She's calling out for her children to come home. That's you, supernova souls. And there's an energy that comes forward of like, really? Is there this great mother? Is there this great love? Is there this great comfort in this world that feels so cold and so alone? Yes, she's been here all along. And in that question, that's reflecting your permission or your worthiness for her love. How dare we reject her in this way when she just has a continual offering of love and protection for us? This is the birthplace of Christ consciousness. So just taking a few deep breaths, feeling this beautiful picture of Mother Earth growing up and around you. It's very different than the 3D connection with Earth as like a rock or a being that we're standing on. The 5D Earth is, she's walking with us. So just imagining this beautiful place in nature where you feel enveloped and loved. A lot of times to feel this deep intimacy with nature, you need to be alone. So finding yourself at this still point, at the center, at the bottom of the V, preparing to rise to the heights. Perhaps this retrograde season is us gathering our momentum, gathering our power, gathering up the pieces of our soul so that we can step into, catapult into this new world, our way. And just taking a few deep breaths with this deep and profound peace of Mother Earth growing up around you. She's been here the whole time. Yes, we had to become separate. That's just part of the journey. Can you receive her loving arms around you again? Can you walk with her? That question coming up of, do you deserve this, is a bunch of hogwash programming. Throw that out the window right now. Step back into the arms of Mother Earth right here, right now. She's calling you home. See what she's showing you? She's the living, breathing manifestation of the Great Mother. That makes you the living, breathing manifestation of the Great Father, the pillar between heaven and earth. And just taking a few deep breaths, feeling this envelopment of her love. Going back to the womb of creation in these holy nights, this deep and profound peace that's available, and introspection. Resting here to be renewed, regenerated, exactly what the earth, Mother Earth's power is. She's here to show us this mystical regeneration. And you are here to show humanity the golden light of truth. The living, breathing manifestation of Christ consciousness. Wow. Can't do it without her, though. She's holding you, loving you. So feeling this energy of Mother Earth calling you home. growing up and around you, like the nurturing medicine vines of the jungle, or the breeze coming off of the ocean, or the mossy woods in the wilderness, or that ledge on top of a mountain, perhaps the cave, this protected space where you can go within and feel held and loved and receive this deep and profound mystery that as you receive your mother, you receive back your place in her. You receive also your role as being the manifest light. And she says, come home, child, and rest with me here. Feel this energy growing up and around you, holding you and loving you. This spiritual ascension, Earth leads the way. Will you take her hand? For this journey, this transition requires us to be in this deep and profound peace. This place of resting, just like we are now, in between time. Holding the vibrational frequency of harmony and peace as we go through this transition. Continuing to breathe. From this place, back in the womb, you can feel and sense your soul group members who have also come home. Take a few breaths with them. You're not alone. So many beautiful beams of light manifested in bodies right now on the earth. There's more masters in bodies than at any time before. A message I was shown is that if there is a master, meaning a soul that no longer needs a physical body, that's gone through earth evolution, if there's any possibility of them taking a body, they have done so at this time to be here for this transition. And you were chosen to exist in this perfect time. The place we're coming to is where all timelines converge. And at this moment is a beautiful opportunity to take back all the pieces of our soul that may be stuck in traumatic past lives, or where we left behind in traumatic relationships, or that we felt on some level was the property of our family or other people, or perhaps any dark programs that's kept our soul in cages or in clones. From this place within the womb of the mother, call your soul home. She is supporting you and loving you as you lay here in her beautiful flower, beautiful lotus floating on the water, resting in the arms of Mother Earth. This stillness creates a vacuum, calling all pieces of your soul home right here, right now. Go ahead and receive an energetic wave, calling all pieces of your soul light home right here, right now, into your body where they belong. Taking a few deep breaths. This is soul retrieval from past lives. This is pieces of yourself that you've given away through this lifetime and others. And control-based relationships. And it's parts of yourself that have been traumatized or cloned. Calling all parts of your soul. You are in charge as the sovereign human soul in a body. There is no higher authority than you. Call home. Mother calling home her children. You calling home all the parts of yourself right here, right now. Just take a few deep breaths. This next month, very powerful time to rest here, rejuvenate, prepare, and call home your soul. To rest in the arms of Mother Earth. This is going to be a continued theme. And right here, right now, in these days in between, the time in between time, you can set your course anew. The trajectory that comes from this deep and profound presence and claiming of your autonomy. And just resting here. Mother Earth brings the fortification, the minerals, the nutrition, the support for life. Are you ready to be supported in your highest expression? Rest here, heal here, prepare, receive. Feel your body uptake all the nutrition and energy it needs through the root system of this lotus flower, representing the womb of the mother, resting here, absolutely supported and loved and held right here, right now. Just taking a few deep breaths, resting, rocking, releasing, rejuvenating. You know a whole new world lies ahead. You know only part of you has been expressing itself. You know that nothing can stop this shift. Rest in this knowing. Rest and prepare for this turnaround moment, to this new trajectory, to this culmination of empowerment of you and other supernova souls rising out of the depths, claiming this new timeline, whole and complete, healed and repaired, ready for the full expression of your spiritual light, the only way you get out of this. It's glorious. This is the energy of you donning your light body, your golden robe, your raiment of light. Rest here as the mother offers you healing and nourishment, preparation for receiving back this golden robe as you climb to the heights of the full expression of your soul in a physical body in this earth evolution, what you came for. Rest and prepare, heal and rejuvenate. And just floating gently in this lotus flower, held in the arms of Mother Earth, safe, protected once again. You know that you have been prepared for many lifetimes to be a bearer, a torch of this light. Now it's time to empty yourself so that you can be filled with this light, the truth, the bigger self of who you are. Just resting and receiving, rejuvenating here, floating gently in the lotus, the womb, the arms of Mother Earth holding you, the root system going through all of the muck to bring you pure, clean truth and nutrition and guidance and clarity. Just rest and receive. This is a rebirth into your bigger self. Brand new babies need lots of love and care, warmth, nourishment, love. Can you commit to giving this to yourself in an absolute validation of this rebirth process over these weeks ahead? It's time to come home now out of all the stories, all the psychological dynamics. Cleanse, heal, rest, and prepare. Just taking a few deep breaths, enjoying this peace, reaching out with your consciousness and finding, I'm seeing all of these lights like stars in the cosmos, these supernova souls resting with the mother, resting like that seed under the ground, beginning to stir, getting ready to sprout. Can you tap in and feel the potential of your supernova brothers and sisters ready to burst forth? Can you rest in this peace? Can you let that smile come to your face, this joy, this co-creation experience that's waiting for you? This incredible happiness, playing again in the garden, letting that smile come to your face. This is the energy of the alpha waves, pure joy. You can also think of something you love, an animal, pet, a child, a person, to allow this smile to come. This is what's been stolen from us, and it must be the first to return, the joy. That's you. How can you even approach the concept of, do I deserve this? This is who you are and what you came for. Own it, claim it. All of the work that you do in your consciousness, in your spiritual path, directly supports your whole soul group. All of the work that you do in cleansing and healing and rejuvenating and releasing the past directly affects your soulmate or your twin flame. So work from this place in preparation for the outer chapter of what's coming. Just rest and receive, knowing that this beautiful peace, the arms of the mother, is here for you whenever you need. Walk with her, talk to her, rest with her, heal with her. Imagine and live and breathe the truth of her children coming home. Supernova souls. They wanted you to think you didn't belong here. They wanted you to feel like you should just do anything to get off this planet, that it wasn't your place. Now come to find out, it's your world now. It always has been. You just had to go through some stuff to get to the fun part. Claim your world your way, right here, right now, in the arms of the mother. Rest, heal, tap into all the other seeds preparing to sprout. Just beginning to complete your journey, but staying here as long as you'd like, knowing that you can always come back to this beautiful peace, this still point, this time outside of time, to be nurtured and healed, rejuvenated by the mother. May you never be separate again. May you walk with her. Hand in hand, arm in arm. The mother leads us home to Mother Earth and to New Earth, which is the old Earth transformed, just like you, the old you transformed. Are you ready? Just taking a few deep breaths, finishing up your experience, knowing you can come back here at any time, coming back into your regular day, everyday awareness, into the room that you're in. Just taking a few deep breaths. Becoming aware of your fingers and toes, your body, the room that you're in, bringing with you this peace, knowing this space is here for you at all times. Staying here as long as you would like, but when you're ready, go ahead and complete your meditation. Well, thanks so much for journeying with me today, and really awesome feeling of feeling ourselves going back to the womb, but at the same time feeling all of us go back. And like that, by us going to the still point and going back to the connection with the mother, we are connecting back to each other, having a real visceral sense. And really cool insight with the came message from the mother. She says, see how Mother Earth is our manifest form of the Great Mother, the divine feminine. And in her manifest form, she's showing us regeneration, healing, purity, transformation. And so we are the living, breathing manifestation of the cosmic light, showing humanity what? So no wonder it's so important for us to come back into her arms. So thank you so much for being with me. Thank you, Supernova Souls, for everything, all you've gone through to be here at this time. Yes, we've got some weird retrograde recapitulation energies, but looks like quite a trajectory coming out of that energy this spring, early spring. So let's keep in touch, and we're in it together. And so nothing can stop it. And so why not meet there? Now, your world, our way, finally. So much love to you, Supernova Souls. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy this time between time. I hope to see you on those Holy Night meditations. And also look out for a new moon in Capricorn activation. And that is on January 2nd. So we'll be in touch about that soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.